Hi, I'm Trisha at Club Scrap. Let's make the stained glass page kit layouts together. I've got my kit ready, and the order of operations will be to sort our paper into the order we're going to use it. Then we will trim all the paper required for a total of 8 12 by 12 layouts. Then we'll trim the Cutaparts, and then we'll assemble everything together so that all you have to do is grab your adhesive, put everything together, and finish with your photos and memories. Let's get started. Here I have my kit and my instructions all downloaded, ready to go. I do like to have my instructions at my right. And then in your kit, you're going to find a series of ribbon. I'll set that aside. We're going to hang on to our photo mats and these really unique die cuts. Hang on to those. The rest of these goodies, I'm just going to set them aside with the ribbon. And let's sort our paper into the order we'll be using it. So I do like to hold it up right here so that I can find everything easily. And we're going to begin by trimming this large print. We just didn't even know what to call it. Calling it the large print. This is it. I'm going to put it face down on my trimmer base. And then we're going to find one of that more abstract small print. So that will be face down. Next, locate one sheet of the blue, one piece of the black, and from the back of your stack, you'll find 2 printed cut-apart sheets. The one that has all the strips on it, let's put that face down, and then the one with the round circle, that'll go next. Then we'll go with the blue, a small print, that's the more abstract style. Flip that so the plain side is up. Then 2 yellow. Then go with the remaining large print, the black plain, and 2 red. Now this red has this stunning stippled texture on it, and it's actually pretty much the same on both sides. I feel like I can maybe say that this is the top, so I'm just gonna put that face down. Flip everything back over. And I also want you to, on the top, add your die cuts. And I'm going to get my accordion pocket file and place the lip of that under my trimmer base. That's going to keep things sorted into one of 4 pockets. Now, if you don't have this, totally okay. Just maintain 4 separate piles. If you want to use a Post-it note to label them 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and so on, 7 and 8, 4 piles. So first, let's distribute the photo mats as we plan to use them. We're going to add 3 yellow photo mats. So these are those pre-cut mats to pocket 1 and 2. So basically, we're just testing our filing skills. Add 1 black photo mat also to pocket 1 and 2. Next, 2 blue photo mats to pocket 3 and 4, and 2 black photo mats also, pocket 3 and 4. Next, 3 red mats going into pocket 5 and 6, and 1 blue photo mat going into 7 and 8. On page 1, there are special instructions for these nesting frame die cuts, and I have the black listed first on the left and the white listed second on the right. When we start working with these, let's make sure that what we're looking at matches the diagram. So for example, on this left side, there is no little frame per se, it's just this little piece gets removed, and that's actually a scrap. And so this upper section, I'm going to take, actually let's just remove this whole entire outer frame. Now if you really want to be meticulous, there are ticks in the die that hold everything together, that kind of leave a little spiky thing behind. If you want to use a craft knife to cut through them, you can certainly do that at your discretion. So I'm going to remove this inner frame from this piece here and place it in pocket 7 and 8. And then I'm just going to make sure I kind of keep track of things coming out of this middle frame here, because I used everything, including the negative space here. So this outer piece, 3 and 4. And then the 2 narrow tags, 3 and 4, and this wider tag, 7 and 8. Now here, I'm going to once again take out this frame, And then there's like another littler guy, and then the fill. Let me carefully remove that. Okay, so this piece goes in pocket 3 and 4. The large portion, 5 and 6. And let's take out these tags once again. This is the most clever die cut I think we've ever designed. It's just so cool, and you're going to find out how cool in a little while. So this large frame, 5 and 6. And then you have 2 skinny tags also going in 5 and 6. And you have this larger, fatter tag for 7 and 8. Grab the white, and once again, let's take out that outer frame, and that you can just throw away. I did not use that. Okay, so everything on this is designed to nest. It's the coolest thing ever. So I'll take out that little rectangle from this piece, and that's a scrap actually. And then I'll take out the largest frame, and this is going to go in pocket 5 and 6. And let me just show you, if I grab the other frame I put in it, look at this. Do you see how that nests together? That is so cool. Okay, I'll put that all in 5 and 6. And then we have the smaller white negative space. And that also goes in pocket 5 and 6. It was really a treat to find a home for every single piece here, but I did it. Okay, 5 and 6 on this guy. And then the 2 skinny tags, 5 and 6, and the fat tag, 7 and 8. This is the lower part of the die cut here that has the additional decorative, it looks like a metal label holder or something. It's so cool. So this inner piece goes away. That's a scrap. And this outer layer of it goes in pocket 1 and 2. This piece of the frame, 7 and 8. And then finally we have our 3 tags. This took a little longer than most kits, but I think it's worth it. This goes in 3 and 4. The 2 skinny tags, 3 and 4. And the fat tag, 7 and 8. All right, now we're going to do our trimming. So I'll just get rid of these little extra pieces here so they're out of the way. Set my papers to my left, my instructions to my right. And when we place this into the trimmer, do it so that the large blue piece of stained glass is in the upper right corner. We'll trim this one at 5.5. Now these 2 pieces are used in layouts 5 and 6, but they're kind of big and unruly. So I'm just kind of plop them on the bottom of my stack of untrimmed paper so that they're not in the way. Grab your next small print. Doesn't really matter which way it goes in the trimmer. And let's start at 10. So making sure everything's level here at the top, push down on the clear bar, give it a slice and let the paper lay where it landed. Then slide down to 8 and 4. Rotate this 4 by 12 and trim at 11 and 6. So this taller piece and the ones that's a little shorter, both of them 1 and 2. And we did create a small scrap. Sorry about that. The other 4 by 12, we're just going to trim that at 6. Put this piece in pocket 3 and 4. And the remaining 4 by 6 into pocket 7 and 8. That leaves 2 by 12 strips for pocket 1 and 2. And if you're new to the pocket file, just kind of make sure they angle so that you don't shove them down inside the pocket that is the same width, and just have it peeking out the edge there. And we're moving on to page 2 of our instructions, to the blue. Let's cut at 9 1/4. So then find the hole number 9, use the columns on the base of your trimmer to go 1 column left to 9 1/4. And then slide to 4. Rotate the piece in your trimmer base and trim at 6. Gather up the 2 pieces and place them in pocket 3 and 4. Now from the center section of this print, we're going to cut at 11 1/4, 7 1/2, and 3 3/4. Gathering the 3 pieces that are the same, those will go in pocket 7 and 8, and then you do have a small scrap. Finally, this last strip will cut at 9, 6, and 3. You made 4 pieces the same, going into pocket 3 and 4. A lot of blue in there. Next up we have black. We're going to make 4 1/4-inch strips. So the first cut will be at 11 3/4. And there's my strip, right? Just leave it right where it lands. Then go to 11 1/2, 11 1/4, 11, then 8, and 4 1/4. Now take this 4 1/4-inch piece and rotate it so it's horizontal. We're going to do something a little different here. We're going to cut at 11 1/4, 8 1/4, and 5 1/4. This piece goes in pocket 1 and 2. And then you have 2 rectangles that are the same size for 5 and 6. And sorry to tell you, another little scrap. Next, grab this 3 3/4 by 12-inch strip. We're going to cut at 9, 6, and 3. That gives me 4 pieces the same for pocket 7 and 8. The next strip we'll cut at 11 1/4, 7 1/2, 3 3/4. You've got 3 rectangles the same, pocket 1 and 2, and a little scrap. That's our 4th scrap. Okay, now we have all these narrow strips. 1 of them goes in 3 and 4. 2 of them, pocket 5 and 6, and the remaining 7 and 8. If you're new around here, let me just tell you about our Cutaparts. These have extra paper on all 4 sides that needs to be removed so we can create the perfect 12 by 12. So typically on the first cut, I cut shy of those little marks in each corner, just so that when I rotate, I'm able to see the outside edge of this blade more clearly. So if I just line that up, now I can see here down here in the bottom corner of my trimmer and up at the top. And then if I rotate again, I just want to get that line right on the edge of the blade. Rotate again, and the more accurate you are with this phase of the operation, the better your final cuts will be. And then when I make this rotation, I'm back where I started, just trimming off that little extra. That gives me all these little tiny pieces I'm going to throw away. And when we do start trimming, let's just make sure that it says, but bring back a heart full of experiences. That should be on our left, okay? And I'm going to start at 11, and then 10, 9, 7 3/4, 6 1/2, 4 1/2, 2 1/4. Taking these strips that are kind of matching, that's the complete title for pages 3 and 4. And then we have the perfect day, 7 and 8. The next piece needs to be trimmed. So let's just go ahead and make sure the squares are all on the right, and our first cut's at 10 3/4, 9 1/2, 8 1/4, 7, 5 3/4. Then go down to like 3-ish, but just split these 2 in half. It's kind of more like 2 7/8. Okay, live colorfully. We're going to cut this out. So at this point, just put it in this one and the pieces of life story. Both of these pocket 5 and 6. And then we have just the way they fell. Okay, the top piece and the one right below it, both of those go in pocket 5 and 6. The next beautiful design, 3 and 4, and the last two designs, 1 and 2. This is a day to sparkle, 5 and 6. Then you have 2 strips that are the same. One of them goes in pocket 1 and 2, and the other in 7 and 8. Finally, our last strip, 3 and 4. We get to repeat the edge removal process for our second cut apart. So remember, I just like to go shy of the line on cut 1 so that when I rotate, I'm more accurate and can see the outside edge of that blade. And if you're slower at this, totally fine. Just liberally use the pause button and come back to me once all those edges have been tidied up and you've gotten rid of your little scraps. We're going to start out again with this narrow piece on the right. It should say pieces of life down here in the lower right corner. And our first cut being at 10 and a half. Then 8 and a half. 6 and a quarter. And 4. Now rotate this so it says a window to the past. Enter 'em at 10 and 6. This larger piece here, pocket 5 and 6. This round one, 3 and 4. A window to the past, 1 and 2. The beauty of stained glass, 1 and 2. All right, to grab this strip here, make sure all the words are on the right. We're going to cut every 1/2 inch, so 11 and a half. 11. 10 and a half. 10. 7 and 3 and a half. This piece, pocket 3 and 4. Every piece belongs 1 and 2. Shine from within, 5 and 6. Then from these little guys, we want wonder, 7 and 8. Memories, 1 and 2. Shine, 5 and 6. Vibrant life, 3 and 4. Let's take the next strip. Now all these little cuts are because we have those tags. We'll go 11 and a quarter. 10 and a half. 9 and 3/4. 9. 4 and a half. All right, to this larger piece, 7 and 8. And then we have the journaling prompt for 1 and 2. Then we have the in the moment and one of the colored pieces, 5 and 6. Pure joy and the other colored piece, 3 and 4. Our final cuts on the final strip. Let's go 10 and a half. 9, 6, and 3. Okay, this guy, 3 and 4. And the other one in 7 and 8. This colorful piece, 5 and 6. Pieces of life and the colored square, 7 and 8. Phew. That was quite a bit of little trimming, but remember we have all those cool nested frame die cuts to work with, so I wanted a special plan for all the pieces that we popped out, and you're going to be amazed at how this all comes together. Grab your accordion pocket file if you're using it, and then just make sure that from now on it lays on its back. Lock your trimmer blade, set it aside, and grab the remaining 12x12s that we've sorted together. Okay, I'm going to take this whole entire stack. Remember, you have those other little pieces on the bottom. And I'm just going to take the top sheet off the stack and slide it to the right so that what I have in front of me now are the blue and then the abstract. Then turn in your instructions to the 4th page. Look at the bottom here where it says layouts 7 and 8. Basically what I'm seeing in front of me here on the paper is exactly what is here. Now why start at layout 7 and 8? Well, it's just easier because as we go through, we're not going to adhere everything. We're just going to temporarily spot it and then talk about these finished pages. Then you can go back with your adhesive, take your time, work at your pace, and put everything together. So I'm going to grab everything out of pocket 7 and 8, and there is just a lot of little things in there. And I think a good spot to start might be those 3 blue photo mats running along the left edge of the page. And because we trimmed them to a height of 3 3/4, they're going to just fit nicely like a little film strip there. And then we'll flank that with the title that says The Perfect Day. There should be one other larger blue piece. That's our blue photo mat there. He'll be vertical. And then below that, we're going to use the cut apart that says the best memories are painted in laughter, warmth, and love. I also used this stunningly gorgeous, I just love this, like a matte finish piece here. And I also added some red ribbon to this white zone on that one. Now on the right page, I've got a series of 4 vertical, smaller black mats. And I mathematically planned that all out so it kind of fit nicely next to, now let's do this. I'm going to take this print, okay, put it kind of right there, and then top it with the black die cut. Okay, see how that's going to work? And then the white is going to sit right on top of there. And then we had the word wonder, the little piece, going to fit right into the opening. Look at that, would ya? We have a narrow paper ribbon here. Beneath it, we'll add a strip from the cut apart. Below that, you can add some of this gorgeous wide double-faced taffeta edge satin ribbon. I just stretched across. I used a little adhesive to kind of keep it from moving around, and I taped the ends around to the back. Now, there's going to be a journaling prompt here that I put on the left side of the page. But here you have remember the fat tags I had you file? Well, you can pop the holes out of the top, or not. You can even leave them there because it won't matter. We're going to staple some ribbon to the top. Do you see how they nest? So you have the large black or white tag here, and then the smaller black nests on there with pieces of life, topped with some ribbon. I mean, seriously, that is just the coolest thing ever. So here I did remove the tiny little holes. I'm not sure if you can see that. Tiny, tiny little holes there. I took those out and I stapled the black silver edged ribbon here on top of the tag. So you don't even need to remove the little holes. This has been glued. I made a small loop of the black ribbon here. And I also used scissors to just trim the tag out completely because I really liked the shape of it. On the facing page, I made, with a craft knife, I made a slit here and here so I could run ribbon through. Really not necessary. You could just do like a swallow's tail, like a V cut in the end and adhere the ribbon. It'd be very pretty. And top it with that gorgeous black medallion. I am going to make earrings out of that, I promise, because those are beautiful. And that is layout 7 and 8. Now, what you can do is, if you want, adhere everything, or just simply slide the base of page 7 on top of 8, okay? And then take the yellow and slide that over, and that gives you the base for 5 and 6. Now remember, we stashed the paper that we trimmed underneath, and look at how it pieces, it puzzles back together, just kind of how we cut it, with the gutter of the double page spread right in the middle. And then I'm going to empty everything from pocket 5 and 6. Got a lot of stuff in there too. Namely, we've got these nestables again. So we have the large frame and frame die cut, and then look at this. The cut apart here fits in the frame. Now, if you're like, wait just 1 minute, I have a lot of pictures, then put your picture here instead of the cut apart. That's all in the lower right corner. We also have these 2 strips of 1/4 inch, I call these paper ribbons, in black. And those are gonna be like our wainscoting between the print and the yellow. And I think that really just kind of frames it up really nicely. You have the red, the black and the white nesting frames, right? And then there is a tag here. I didn't even trim it out. This is the tag. And look, it's the same exact size as the opening on our little trio here. So you could put a little picture in here if you wanted to. That would be really, really sweet. I was careful to let my no adhesive kind of between the layers or behind this one, so you could easily add a little photo in the frame. How fun is that? Here, paper ribbon or a cut apart. And in this spot, we'll add a cut apart, and then we have a spot for a photo here, but no mat for it. And I was going to put the photo mats here, but I didn't want to cover up the print, so I put them here and added a journaling prompt with a tile above and below. Now on that tile, there is a sheet of these really cool epoxy stickers. So you can take the sticker off the sheet and very carefully align it with the shape of the cut apart here. And then you can cut around it, or you can leave the paper there. Totally your call. But I just love the look. I mean, I know that like on camera, it just never really does it justice, but it's just so cool. Put one above and one below, and then you'll add your epoxy to this one too. And again, you can just leave it, or you can cut it out. You could maybe mat it with more black if you wanted to. Totally your call. The other red photo mat goes horizontally here with 2 vertical below it. And then you have all kinds of tags going on. So on these tags, I just took scissors and I cut them out, and I added them below the 2 vertical photo mats there. And then you'll have a pair of matching tags. So they're going to be white with black on top. And to those I added a loop of ribbon. Now I probably would have, it was too late because I used bookbinding glue. I probably would have done it this way, honestly. Let me just show you. This is the advantage of watching the video, and I know a lot of people just skip the video, and that's totally fine with me. But, you know, there's got to be some reward for watching it, right? I would have gone this way, but I already put the in the moment on here in the other direction, and it was too late for me to change it. And then I would have run ribbon all the way across, but instead I had them further to the right. You know, maybe there's room for a picture or something there. Oh, and I had the word shine. Is that still in the pocket, maybe? It is. It's down in my little pocket. The shine fits right in there. Like, seriously, it's so cool. So the finished page is here. A loop of ribbon threaded through the hole, right in there. And everything else is just very straightforward and nested in there. And I didn't use any foam adhesive in the entire process. Now on the left side here, you can see my fun little tiles with the reflective epoxy. And then here I punched a hole with the crocodile, ran the ribbon around to the back, and then I added the sparkly gem, the teardrop shaped gem there. This is a day to sparkle. Perfect, right? Okay, now that is basically layout 5 and 6. So I can take the yellow and scoot it on over. And then I can take the print, bring that over. And that should be what I need for the base of layout 5 and 6, and indeed it is. So I'm turning backwards in my instructions to page 3 rather, at the bottom, and I'm going to empty out pocket 3 and 4. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, so we have 2 different sizes of blue mats. Determine the largest mats. Those are going to go in the lower left corner, or the lower right corner of the left page vertically. And then you have a smaller blue mat that will nest onto black, and those will go in the upper left corner of the right page. Okay, then I'm going to take this title, but bring back a heart full of experiences, that goes on the right. And before you add anything to the left side, I want you to put, and remember this when you're adhering to, this piece vertically there. And I added a length of yellow grosgrain. I had a lot of it there, and I wrapped it around here too. So 2 lengths of the yellow grosgrain. You can put a little adhesive and wrap it around, whatever you prefer. Then you can add the travel light on top. Okay, so it's all about the order of assembly there. Remember those nesting die cuts? Look at this. See? That's the reverse of what we had earlier. And it just so happens it nests perfectly onto a 4x6, and that's going to go right here. Now there is one of those slots on the right is filled in with a journaling prompt that just happens to be the exact size it needs to be to go into the window and fit. Across the top here, you're going to have 3 puzzled in mats. It should all fit really well. And then I put the 4th one over on the right. I trimmed this with scissors. You could use a fancy cutting die, but I did not, just scissors. And on top of it, I added the other medallion in the center. This sentiment I kind of had tucked in like behind the corner, and I even added an epoxy piece kind of right in here. You'll get a better idea when I show you the finished page. Oh, where did this bad boy go? I used a black, forgot to tell you this one, I used a black piece right underneath this, between the strip and the ribbon. And that is why we don't glue everything down right away, because we find things like, oh yeah. Okay, that's back there. Now, you have a pair. Here's the 1 and 2, and I did it with the tops facing to the right, so I could add ribbon, Pure Joy, nests here, and then the little colors there. You have the black frame, and then I put the Vibrant Life inside. That's so pretty. Okay, let's take a look at the finished here. You can see the contrasting print in the background. That looks so good, along with the tag here. You could put a little Brad in that spot. It'd be so cute. Here I have the yellow ribbon extending off the tip of the tag here. Just threaded it on and taped it on the back. And then there's the yellow ribbon. I used bookbinding glue to kind of stabilize it a little bit. And then that black strip in between the Cutapart and the ribbon. That's all there was to it. And then on the facing page, again, you could add brads to this. I didn't even do it because it just looks good. Maybe you have the little jewel, the Dazzle Jewel stickers. Like a silver Dazzle Jewel dot would be really cute there. I digress. Here's this conglomeration. I love this in the middle here. Oh, I wish you could just feel it. It's so good. Maybe you can. Maybe you have the kit and you can feel it. I added the epoxy right here. Just a nice little collage on the left side of that page, which brings us to moving the black base of page 3 on top of 2. And here we are, layouts 1 and 2. We're going to empty pocket 1 and 2, believe it or not. Oh my goodness. Okay. 2-inch strip of the print right along the left edge on the left page, and the bottom edge on the right page. Then we're going to come in with the title here and the border strip here. Yellow. We'll go horizontal like so. Fits in there perfectly. And then the yellow is vertical right here. And this is just, you're going to love how this puzzles in. It's absolutely just the best. Okay, a black with the abstract print on top. And here we have the black that matches the width with an abstract print on top. Then 3 vertical mats in a strip here. Then on the left, we're going to take this, a window to the past. We're going to add the epoxy to it after we trim it out and place it right there. Oh, that looks so good. With this next to it and some ribbon. Then I added the memories into the little die cut frame and added it to the bottom here so that you can put a picture there to fit. And every piece goes up here, along with another little epoxy tile. I added a beautiful ribbon over here. Oh, and the jewels. Oh my goodness. This was really a fun discovery. I went with 2 of the jewels up here in the yellow area, and then 3 of them kind of with the point of the jewel facing down on this side. The other one's on that other layout. I didn't put it on there. I just told you about it, but that was really pretty. This is like a druzy, it's called, and very sparkly and radiant, perfect for the title. So here we go, your memories thing here, and then your little epoxy tile there. Punch the slot with the slot punch here. That's this guy, if you don't have him. Puts a nice slot for ribbon into your tags. I use it all the time. And then the other epoxy dot here. Again, no foam adhesive, no fancy stuff used really here. And then on the facing page, you can see, maybe it's a little hard to see, but you got your sparkle happening there and your sparkle ×3 down over here. Oh, doesn't that look cool? I made a really nice bow with the swallow's tail tips, added it, and the end. So now all that's left is to either tuck away your pages for later when you come back with your memories. I just think that anything happening in a beautiful church, like perhaps a wedding or something like that, would be lovely. Or whenever you travel overseas, it seems you're always going through cathedrals. I mean, I definitely have a few pictures of Saint Michel Chapel in Paris. Would be so lovely with this. It had the most beautiful rose window ever. Honestly, it could just be if someone in your family is wearing a red or a yellow shirt because it's all about color, right? You bring the theme to your pages rather than the other way around. And we try to keep those titles and captions really broad and neutral. So no matter what season of life you're in, hopefully your pictures can find a home on these pages. I want to sincerely thank you for joining me for this workshop. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like this collection, we also have a stained glass card kit at Club Scrap where we take similar designs, not the exact same ones, but similar coordinating designs, and we use them to make a dozen cards. Combined with these gorgeous papers, you just can't go wrong. So if you haven't tried our card kits yet, this would be a great month to give it a whirl. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and maybe even leave a comment. I always love to hear from you. I look forward to seeing you in another workshop again soon. Thanks again for joining me.